Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that work and Salakia, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And the spirit has been on me to do these, back to back as what's going on over there in LA and many other states, but mainly LA, because it's like a complete war zone out there, man. You have this you had Nero, Caesar, aka DJ Trump, you know, uh um deploy the National Guard, and now 700 Marines was mobilized to LA after violent protests over immigration raids. Now, this is a unrighteous decree, because here it is, you provoked this. This devil, he causes the conflict and then comes in with the solution, which is order ab chaos, right? Order out of chaos, with chaos that he ordered. So he's playing good cop, bad cop. And this is the MO of the so-called white man, Esau Edom. Right? This is what he does. And like I've said in previous videos, this is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua bringing the hammer down on you Northern Kingdom tribes, right? You so-called Latinos, because of your abominations, your idol worship, right? You hating the so-called Negroes, your brothers, right? You've came over here and as soon as you got your foot in the door, you automatically started thinking that you were better than the so-called Negroes. And this is the Lord judging you on all of that, man. Right? Because since you are, since I've known, and like I said in previous videos, it's always been black and brown when it came to the so-called Negroes. But when it's y'all, you Northern Kingdom tribes, you want to be separate, man. You want to have your own world and say, we don't deal with niggas. You got gangs, so-called Mexican gangs, that just, want to kill Negroes, man. You call them the NKs over there on the south side of LA, south side of California, rather. Right? We remember the rapper, I forgot his name, when he came on there. He was on one of those talk shows or them podcasts or whatever, and he said, hell no, we don't deal with the blacks. We don't want to sign with no blacks. Right? The way he said it, it was like a hatred that he had, man. Now we understand the curses. We understand that the curses that, the Lord put on us, according to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, from the 15th verse all the way on down, we understand that, and throughout history, how the tribes split, we understand that it was going to be hatred and it was going to be a separation between the northern and southern kingdom. But the Lord is he's pretty much, he's stitching that hole up, man, through this word. And a lot of you so-called Latinos and Negroes as well, you don't want to get down with the program, neither do you believe it. So the Lord got a judgment set out for you, man. And you Southern Kingdom, you're not out the way. Once this devil, once the Lord has this devil take his foot off of the northern kingdom, he's going to put it on you southern kingdom Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes here in this country. And the Lord is going to make it so bad for you tribes that you are going to wake up and you are going to see that you are the same people because you are catching the same hell, right? And it's the same person that's doing it to you, man. Because a lot of y'all love to love this devil, man. Whether you in jail, whether you on your work, your job, you love to coon out to these devils, man. And this devil is about to show his horns on how he really feels about you. So without any further ado, let's play this, man. Because this is an unrighteous decree. And this devil gonna pay for this, man. Right? But this is all what's the word? Orchestrated chaos, man. This is not something that just happened. This is orchestrated, man. This is on purpose. And this is a snare. This is a trap. And the trap is going to catch a lot of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Esau, Edom, they might lock 1, 2, maybe 10 of them up, whatever. But it's going to be the majority of you Israelites that's going to get the full judgment of this. So let's play. Yabashim Yahushua, willing to let the other five. Shalom.
Tonight, with Los Angeles bracing tonight after sweeping immigration raids sparked protests and clashes tonight, a U.S. official now confirming to ABC News 700 Marines are now on their way to Los Angeles to join California's National Guard, which was deployed by the president, not that state's governor. Late this afternoon, a peaceful protest after the arrest of a union leader, but the city is bracing for nightfall. It was a far different scene over the weekend. Protesters setting up fireworks right there, police officers right nearby. A line of self-driving vehicles set on fire. Crowd shutting down the 101 freeway downtown. LAPD officers trying to move them off. The moment a U.S.-based correspondent from Australia reporting on the protests, you can see there she's hit by an officer's rubber bullet. President Trump going over the governor's head, sending the state's National Guard to the scene, and tonight he's now sending hundreds of these U.S. Marines. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, leading us off tonight on the scene in Los Angeles. Matt is one-on-one with Border Czar Tom Homan tonight.
Tonight, 700 Marines are on their way to the streets of Los Angeles to assist the National Guard and law enforcement tamp down violent clashes with protesters angry over the Trump administration's immigration policies and arrests. Over the past 72 hours, pockets of LA descending into chaos. Protesters setting cars on fire, dumping bikes and scooters on police cruisers on the highway. Law enforcement firing hundreds of flashbangs and non-lethal projectiles and making dozens of arrests. It got so heated in the streets that a British photographer needed emergency surgery after being struck by a non-lethal projectile.
Moving them on through the...
And there was this moment. Watch as a correspondent for 9 News Australia reporting on the protest when an officer hits her with a rubber pellet. And tonight, an escalating war of words between California Governor Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump. Newsom suing the president for creating the conditions for this chaos when he sidestepped California officials to deploy thousands of National Guard troops.
Are you going to deploy Marines in California?
We hope to have the support of Gavin because Gavin's the big beneficiary as we straighten out his problems. I mean, his state is a mess.
Newsom then slammed by Trump and Border Czar Tom Homan for his response to the unrest. Homan initially suggesting the governor should be arrested, something Trump seemed to support just hours ago.
I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job.
Newsom responding again, calling that an unmistakable step.
And that's the division between these devils, man. Satan against Satan, right? And if Satan be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand, man. And that's why America is on its way out, right? Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is putting the spirit of division and confusion in these devils, man.
Toward authoritarianism. I asked Homan about that.
If Gavin Newsom crosses whatever threshold it is and violates the law, do you have the authority to arrest him or Mayor Karen Bass?
You know, if he broke the laws like any other U.S. citizen, we'll ask the Attorney General to investigate, and they'll prosecute. Tom Homan's not going to prosecute.
Spontaneous clashes began Friday as federal agents conducted multiple operations in and around Los Angeles. By Saturday, protests, mostly peaceful, grew larger when agents were seen staging in nearby Paramount, California. And by Sunday, a convoy of heavily armed and camouflaged troops arrived. We watched as the clashes intensified as the day progressed.
Just moments ago, there's some projectiles being thrown. Just moments ago, a motorcycle seemed to try to break through the police skirmish line. And now you can hear all those flashbangs going off. Police are trying to push those protesters back, firing those less than lethals at very close range. And you can see those projectiles being thrown over. Now that motorcyclist being hauled in here, looks like he's being arrested.
LAPD's chief overnight saying they may need more help.
We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing.
And thousands today gathering peacefully, calling for the release of a prominent union leader arrested Friday during one of those workplace raids.
A lot of us are American citizens. So then what are we working for? What is the American dream? It doesn't even exist when you're picking people out of the street.
David, just want to...
And that's what they realizing, man. Because a lot of so-called Latinos, you know, quote unquote migrants that came over here, they were looking for the American dream, and they found the American nightmare, man. Look at this place. This place is more a fucking country of chaos and hell and you know, stress and depression, you know, than ever, man. And you so-called Latinos, you starting to figure that out too, because the so-called Negroes, they've been knowing that this man was the devil, even though you got some that still love this fucking devil. But I don't know, man. You so-called Latinos, man. You know, we got brothers, so-called Latinos in this truth, man, that know who this devil is and believe it wholeheartedly that, you know, the scriptures speak on this devil as to what he is, man, which is the devil and the wicked. So the American dream is a mirage, man, to get you to come over here and feel like you can make a life for yourself.
To give you a sense of where we are, this is the federal building in downtown Los Angeles, and there are probably a couple of hundred peaceful protesters here outside. And you can see that line of federal agents, the California National Guard. Right now, everything is peaceful, but on the other side, there are probably about 100 LA.
And you got this devil in the midst, this fucking news reporter right here, man. All you see is this wrinkled ass face in every report, man. Right? But what people not getting is that this whole thing has been set up. Right? Because this devil is coming down with great wrath, man, because he know he got a short time. You know the Lord is about to return and rain on his fucking parade, man. And we know it. We can feel it.
APD in riot gear. Now, Tom Homan telling me that he supports additional troops in downtown Los Angeles, but a short time ago, Governor Gavin Newsom tweeting that the presence of active duty Marines here in Los Angeles is un-American. David.
Macked up in.
And that's, you know, people thought that this couldn't happen in America. They looked at it and said, what? This can't happen in America. Right? But they seeing now that it very well can. And then you have this going on, you know, throughout this the protests and the rioting and all that, which always happens. Where you have, it says Apple Store and CVS ransacked amid violent LA riots. And I've seen posts where they was going in the Jordan store, you know, many other stores, man. And this always happens. Always happens, man. But as we always tell you Israelites, man, you were put over here as a prison sentence. This devil has took everything from you, your heritage, right? He has robbed you of everything and said that he was you. Now he's taking your livelihood, man. He's breaking your families up, right? If taking your nationality, if taking you out of your land, out of your comfort, right? Teaching you that your power is a so-called white man, Jesus. If that wasn't enough, man, now he's going in your house and kidnapping and taking your family members, man. You're unable to live a peaceful life here now. Now you're seeing it, right? And this is gonna come to many more of these major cities, man, and states here in America. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. Who's that? Esau, Edom, the wicked. It said, and work evil upon their beds. Yeah, at night, you know, they have these secret meetings or whatever. These meetings, they ain't got to be at night, but just pretty much secret meetings to where you don't know what they saying or what they talking about, right? And everything they talking about is evil against you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you Israelites. It says, woe to them, meaning destruction to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Yeah, and Trump got that power to deploy 700, Marines and the National Guard and lock hundreds of people up, beat the hell out of them, do all types of shit. Why? Because it is in the power of their hands, man. They practice it. They practice their power amongst you Israelites, man, on you Israelites. It says, and they covered fields and take them by violence. Who did they do that to? The Israelites, man. 70 AD, right? Off the shores of Africa, West Africa, man. Right? It says, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, right? Even a man and his heritage, man. So, like I said, they take your heritage, they oppress you where you dwell at, right? This devil has always been on the necks of the Israelites, man. Wherever the Israelites go, this devil is there to oppress them, right? The scriptures tell you in Jeremiah 50:33 that the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together, man. And where are they being oppressed together at? Babylon the Great America, right? The scriptures don't lie, right? So let's check this out, man. And Jake always falling for the trap, man. They did the same shit during the time of George Floyd, right? Where they started rounding Jake's up, man. Where they got facial recognition. They got technology where they can, recognize your face through their technology and catch your ass months later, man. Jake has always fell into the trap. And who you see? Northern and Southern Kingdom doing this. Every single time, man. Every single time. Who's looting? So-called Negro and Latinos. You got Esau Edom out there looting too. But they're not going to focus on them, man. Right? They're not going to focus on them. They're going to focus on you Israelites, man. Because they want your head. And you see all of these traps that this devil done set up, because you got videos out there saying, oh, has Trump lost control? You know, these devils, you know, they set up Jake. But at the end, those same traps that they set Jacob to fall in, these devils gonna fall in, man. Right? Yeah, they may, you know, lock a few Jakes up, but ultimately, this is to the downfall of Esau Edom, and he can't see it. Because what? The Lord got a spirit of delusion. The Lord got a block on them, man. A block on their minds, man. The Lord put a spirit in this devil to where he can't see his own destruction. Right? This is all signs of Esau Edom's downfall, man. And he can't see it. He thinks that he's going to actually make America great again with the way America is right now. He thinks that he's going to lock every Israelite up. He thinks that he's going to pretty much set things as they were back in the 40s, in the 50s, and the 60s, man. This is what this devil thinks. But the Lord got other plans for him, man. This is Psalms chapter 69. I'm going to start at 22. It says, let their table become a snare before them. And that table is the setup, man. It's what they set up out here for Jake to get caught up in. That same, you know, table that they set a trap with is going to fall back on these devils, man. This is King David, you know, praying to the Lord, asking for his enemies to be brought to justice, man. It says, let their table become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap, man. Right? So Trump, I think that all of this that's happening, right, is for the embetterment of America, man. This is going to fix America, right? We're doing good. This is going to fix America. This is going to bring America back to the way it was. Little do this devil know this is his downfall. It says, let their eyes be darkened. Yeah, they can't see what they're doing. That they see not, and make their loins continually to shake. Yeah, because these devils are in fear, man. Don't get it twisted. These devils come up there and they have these you know, calm faces and they act like they got it all together. These devils are in fear, man. It says, pour out thine indignation upon them and let thy wrathful anger take hold of them. And that's coming. That is coming, man. That is definitely coming. It says, let their habitation be desolate, and let none dwell in their tents. For they persecute him whom thou hast smitten. And who's that? The Israelites. And they talk to the grief of those whom thou hast wounded. Yeah. They see the cry, but yet it's nothing to them. They say, well, they shouldn't do this. They shouldn't be aggressive. They should just get out the country and they should just, you know, lay down and let us step on them, man. Pretty much. It says, add iniquity to their iniquity. Yeah, that's what the Lord is doing. This devil done racked up so much evil and wickedness toward the Israelites that he can't go back from this, man. It says, and let them come, Salaki, and let them not come to their right, to thy righteousness. Let them be blotted out of the book of the living and not be written with the righteous, man. So 2/3 of our people, along with these other nations, chiefly Esau, Edom, this is who this is speaking of, man. Right? Because you do got wicked ass Israelites that's gonna fall by the traps of these devils. It says, I'm gonna jump down to 35. It says, for the Most High will save Zion and will build the cities of Judah that they may dwell there and have it in possession, because that's the end all be all, man. The Lord is going to deliver his people in this time, right? We coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. And hey, the Lord is fed up with the way his people are being treated here in America, even though he's going to get rid of 2/3 on this side. But the Lord is also sick and tired of this devil putting his foot on you Israelites, man, putting his foot down and having all this dictatorial rule over his people, man. And he's tired of the wicked being in power, man. You devils, you're on your way out. Thus saith the Lord. It says 36, the seed also of his servants shall inherit it, and they that love his name shall dwell therein. And that's the elect of the nation of Israel, man. Right? You're about to see a wonderful work that the Lord is going to do with, the elect of the nation of Israel, man. Men are going to get spiritual powers. You're going to see things happen that you've never thought you'd see in the midst of all this. Right? And that's this devil, pretty much sealing his destruction. Right? So we're going to get this last one. We're going to let it play out. This is Second Esdras, because this is the way the people think now. Right? This is the way the people think now. Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, meaning destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, man. It's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be real. It's gonna be a death sentence soon, man. To walk out on the street, to do these types of acts, man. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, right? A violent uprising, right? A revolt. It says, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. Right? So they ain't regarding what Trump's saying. They ain't regarding what these politicians are saying. Right? The course of their action is in their own power, man. They taking shit into their own hands, man. People are saying, y'all treating us like shit, man. And we want different. Right? It says, a man shall have a man shall have desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man, because martial law is coming. Martial law is coming, man. They looking to shut this city down again. They looking to shut America down again. And it's not going to happen the way they think, man. Right? Not like back in 2020, 2021 during the epidemic. Right? It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. These devils, man. Along with the rest of these Babylonians, man. They're very prideful, man. And this is why this place is going down in a hurry. It said, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. What they doing? They going into these stores, stealing, looting, taking shit, right? Supermarkets, you trust me, supermarkets is getting looted too. They're not showing all the stores, man. It says what? But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what America is headed to, great tribulation, man. And these people are going to not only go into supermarkets and sneaker stores and Apple stores and CVS and shit like that. They're going to come into your houses, man, where you sleep at night, looking for food, right? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So get ready, because we at the end, man. Right? I'm going to leave it there. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua willing, the elect is edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakal Kadash, for blessing me with the Spirit to do this lesson. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. Hey, watch as well as pray, man, because the Lord is about to make his second coming, man. This is a beautiful time we live in. Just hold your hold your spot, brothers. And you Aqua that's out there. To the next lesson, Shalom.